Hey, it's Mike Cooch. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what the agency sales cycle of doom is, why it's killing your ability to grow your agency, and what you need to do to get out of it so that you can unlock growth. Okay, so the agency sales cycle of doom is something that any agency that's doing custom work for small businesses experiences. Let me go ahead and walk you through it here right now. It's these 7 steps, and if you're running an agency right now and you're selling to small businesses, I know that you will identify with this. Okay, step 1, you start selling. You've got some product or service that you know can do good for your clients, and you start selling out there in the marketplace. You start going to networking events. You start telling people what you're up to, and there's demand for your services because people need help with this stuff. So that's awesome. You start getting momentum. You're feeling good. Step number 2 is you actually find an opportunity, right? Somebody comes along and says, hey, yeah, I think that we need help with that. We could use your services. Great, you're on to something. You're proving that there's some demand. Step number 3 then, because you're so excited about getting that deal and you only have so much time in the day, you stop prospecting to focus on winning that deal, right? So you're spending time putting together proposals, visiting the client, talking to them about what they need, talking to them about your background, what you can do, which brings us to step number 4. They either want something custom or they just drag things out. Okay, small businesses are what they are. They have needs. They think that their business is different and unique, so they want you to do something custom for them. They don't really have a formalized buying process at their business, so somebody wants to talk to somebody who's on vacation and everything just gets dragged out. It takes a while. You start sweating it because you thought this deal was going to be done in the next week. Now it's a month or 2 down the road. Step number 5, you get nervous that you might actually lose this deal. And if that happens, that's a disaster. So you offer some sort of discount to get them to sign right away, right? Very common to do that. It's awesome. They say yes. They're happy to get your discount. They were going to say yes anyway, but they'll take the discount. So they go ahead and sign. You've got your deal done. Now, step number 6, because they wanted something custom, you scramble to figure out the service delivery, and of course, there's still no prospecting going on, or very, very little prospecting happening, because now you've got clients, you're actually dealing with their projects, trying to figure out the service delivery, and it's custom this and custom that, which means you've got to have your head in it, doing research, testing things, figuring things out. It truly is a service that's based off of your time and effort going into taking care of that client. Step number 7, you realize at the end of the day, when you did all of your accounting, that you really didn't make any money on that project. It's done. You completed the work. You billed for it. They paid for you. That's fantastic. Probably 30 or 45 days late because they're a small business. Your cash is really squeezed, and now you're starting this cycle all over again, and you're not any further ahead than you were 3 months ago when you started selling this project. Does that sound familiar to you? Now, depending on where you're starting or where you're coming from, this may be that you've only done this a couple of times and you think at some point or another, surely it gets better, right? And then those of you who have been agencies for a while and are doing custom work and selling to small businesses, maybe you've been doing this for years and you realize that you're still stuck in the agency sales cycle of doom. Things aren't getting better and you aren't getting ahead. And the reason why is you've got a model that's broken. The agency business model, selling to small businesses where you're doing any sort of custom work, any sort of professional services, is a broken business model that many, many smart people before you have tried and failed. So don't beat yourself up too bad. It's not your fault, but you do need to make some changes if you want to get out of this and get ahead. So let me jump over to some slides here. I'm going to show you what those changes are. Okay, so how do we escape the sales cycle of doom here at the agencies? Step number 1 is you've got to stop selling anything custom. Okay, from now on, it's only packaged, what I call productized services. And that just simply means that you're taking the services and you're putting specific boundaries around them. And you're saying, this is what we offer, just like a product. Like if you go to buy a product off the shelf at, Walmart, and you would really like something customized about that product, there's no option to do that. There's no option to pay more and get something customized. And there shouldn't be with your services anymore, okay? Put tight boundaries around what you offer. Say, we offer this, and it comes with these features, these benefits, and that's it. And I know for many of you, that's a huge change and you think it's impossible because my customers, my clients, they demand this and that. Well, here's the reality. One, there are different types of customers and clients out there. There are customers and clients that will buy what you sell them. And two, if you stop selling that, lo and behold, you're going to stop having people insisting that you do custom work. Okay. Finally, those clients that need custom work, they're not the clients that you want. They can't pay you enough if they're small businesses to make your business model work. So all that custom work is doing is dragging your business down. You've got to stop. Okay, from now on, it's only packaged, productized services. Number two here is you've got to stop selling any sort of project work, only recurring revenue from now on. Okay, you've got to get yourself into a position where when you sell something once and you go through all of that effort, and it is a lot of effort to sell a new client, it doesn't matter if they're a small business or a large business, it still takes a long time, it still takes a lot of work, and it's still very expensive. You've got to have recurring revenue that comes in from that sale. If you're just doing a project and that project comes to an end, and then you've got to go out and find another project to try and replace that income, you're in feast and famine mode all the time. It becomes nearly impossible to run a business with any sort of consistency or any sort of forward-looking plan where you know that you can hire people, bring on good talent, or just know that you're going to be able to pay your bills and pay yourself a decent salary every month. You've got to have recurring revenue. So from now on, it's only packaged productized services that are sold as recurring revenue where you're collecting a payment month after month after month. Step number three, you've got to stop going to your prospects and your customers' offices as part of your sales process or as part of your service delivery. It is not necessary. You can sell to small businesses no matter where they are around the country from your office. You don't need to leave. So use video, use webinars, use whatever you need to use. Get on the phone with them, but do not go to their office and sell to them in person. Why? Again, the economics just don't work. One, you're tying up all of your time driving around to go see prospects or customers. That's limiting the number of sales pitches that you can do in a day. And two, it's limiting the range or the scope of possibilities in terms of the customers that you're working with. If you're only working with customers right in your backyard, you're not open to all of the other customers around the world that could benefit from your services, you're really limiting your sales pipeline. You're really limiting your opportunities, particularly if you live in a small town. Now, many of you think like small business owners yourselves, and you think, well, Mike, there's no way that businesses in my town are going to buy from me if I don't come and visit them. Well, guess what? Again, stop selling to businesses just in your town. Okay, the far majority of businesses now are buying products and services online without ever having a sales rep come and meet with them. I promise you it will work for you too. Step number 4 is to automate as much of your sales process as possible. Okay, by automating your sales process, you take all kinds of costs out of the equation, one, but two, most importantly, you open up that pipeline of opportunities. If you're sending your prospects to an automated webinar or to a video on a sales page, then you can send one prospect there, 5, 10, 50, 100 at a time. It doesn't matter because it's not your manual effort that's required to make all that happen. So now you can be selling to a lot of businesses at once. You're doing it with lower cost and you're scaling it up at the same time. So this is how we can start really increasing the velocity of our sales pipeline. And then step number 5 is to focus on one single niche of customers, one particular industry. So if you're going to be an agency for restaurants or for car dealerships or for HVAC or kitchen remodelers. Don't try and be an agency for everybody. This is a critical final piece that will absolutely give you the ability to explode your sales and get out of that sales cycle of doom forever. And the reason why is when you focus on a single specific niche, all of a sudden your services get really dialed in, structured, exactly for that niche. Your messaging gets dialed in exactly for that niche. Your service delivery becomes very scalable because what you're doing for one restaurant, you can do for another and another and another rather than having to reinvent the wheel every time. And then the final thing, the fourth thing that makes a huge difference in accelerating your sales by picking a single niche is that now you can tap into channels. And what I mean by that is restaurants are all members of the National Restaurant Association, and they're all subscribed to the same newsletter and read the same websites and go to the same trade shows. Those are called channels or aggregators. They've already pulled together your audience for you, which is a very expensive, difficult thing to do. Now you can tap into those channels with your marketing efforts to get the visibility in front of a lot of them at the same time and get them coming into that automated sales process that you created. You do that, and all of a sudden you can dramatically accelerate your sales opportunities and get out of that sales cycle of doom forever. Okay, does this work? It absolutely works. I've done it in multiple industries now, and I've coached a lot of other people to do the same. I promise you, follow these 5 steps and get out of that sales cycle of doom forever. All right, this is Mike Cooch. I hope this helped you. Please subscribe wherever you're watching this video, and we'll see you in a future video.